So you've been posting daily and not getting any results. Posting and posting, or maybe you're saying things like social media is like so overwhelming. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it, but I got to grow my business. I got to get out there. I just hate social media. Well, in today's business, we're going to be talking about exactly that. I have a special guest with me, an amazing person, Toni Stratis. Is that how you say your last name?
Yes, Toni
All right,
Stratis.
Toni Stratis.
Nailed it.
From Purple Canvas. And so she's going to give us some really good tips, some really good insight on how you can make social media not so overwhelming and you can get the results that you need to grow your business. Let's get into it. Toni, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you, Mark?
Good. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. You know what? I saw on your website, you had this saying, so before we go too far into it, let me just ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get into what you're doing now?
Oh, great question. I fell into it, honestly. So I went to university like my parents wanted me to, got my degree, presented it to them, and I said, now what? I have a Bachelor of Arts from York University. I majored in English, which has definitely helped me in my marketing career. But ultimately, I left university not knowing what I was going to do. And I was a bartender at a Boston Pizza. Oh. And they have a role there called Community Relations Coordinator. And somebody in the role was going back to school. So I approached the owner of that location. I said, would you consider me for that role? And he said, yes. So that was my start. I saw an open door. I said, yes. And somebody gave me a chance. And that's kind of how my career unfolded all this time. I did eventually go to school for digital marketing at U of T, and have been building relationships with other marketers, other business owners for the last 20 years. And getting into things and saying yes.
Nice. And saying yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you said yes to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are. So we're not going to say too much about it right now, but we said yes to collaboration coming up. So we got some good things coming up this year, right?
Yes.
All
very
right, so
exciting.
Stay tuned for that. Yeah. So, and you just started this business.
Yeah. So I'm technically a serial entrepreneur. I'm still working my way towards officially identifying myself as that. It's hard to comprehend, but this is my second business. Technically my third, because I also have a cookie business, but we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, you keep telling me about those cookies. You know, you haven't given me one yet.
Not yet.
All right.
You have to earn the cookie.
Okay.
But so I ran an agency for 8 years with a business partner. It was very successful. And then, a couple of years or 7 years into it, I just had a gut feeling that I was compromising my instincts a little bit too much, and I wanted to go out on my own. So last May of 2025, Purple Canvas was born.
Nice. And why Purple Canvas? Why that name?
Okay, there's a good story behind the name.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to name a business, especially when you're coming up with the name on your own. So I had a few ideas. Some of them were like, yeah, that sounds good. But then you wake up the next morning, you're like, nope, that ain't it. So I was having a conversation with my husband, Dylan, and he's like, I got it. I was like, okay, tell me more. He's like, Purple Canvas. Okay, tell me more. He knew that it needed to be something that I loved.
Yeah.
And I love purple. I think I was born loving the color purple. It's a very powerful color, has a lot of meaning behind it. And then canvas, two things. One is when you work with me, you're not starting with a blank canvas, you're starting with a purple one. So there's already a foundation there. There's experience there, a lot of knowledge that I can share with you. And then we're going to build on that canvas together. But then the second reason is very personal. There was a blank space in my office for about 4 years, and it drove my husband crazy. Yeah. He's like, pick out some freaking art for your wall. So we obviously now have a purple canvas on that wall.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that story. Love that. And you know what? I was checking you out on your website, and there's something that you had on there that was very, very powerful, I thought. Mm-hmm. So you said that Purple Canvas has a simple belief, and that's marketing should feel like a partnership, not a puzzle. Yeah. I like that. Tell me more. Tell me more.
So, when I work with clients, it's really important that they see me as a part of their team, and not just a cog at their machine. So when I talk about partnership versus a puzzle, I mean, there's always going to be problems to solve. And somebody once told me that there's no value if you're not solving problems. So there is always going to be those marketing puzzles, but it's the partnership and the trust behind working with Purple Canvas that makes us successful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So we're here to drop some game for business owners.
Let's do it.
Someone that's like, as I said, really frustrated with social media, marketing in general, but social media especially.
Yeah.
Right? Posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Did I cover them all?
Almost.
All right. Like, where do I post? How often do I post on each? All these questions I'm sure you get all the time.
Yep.
I do within my practice, my coaching practice, right? And a lot of business owners just rather stay away from it and just focus on what they do, which, I mean, they need to. But when they're first starting out, so someone that's just starting out right now, can we give some like a 90-day kind of a plan in some way?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love that. If you're just starting out your business, there's 10 plus different social media platforms. The first thing I would say is focus. You do not need to be on all of them. Pick one or two. For me, when I started Purple Canvas last May, I very quickly dialed in on Instagram and LinkedIn because I knew that's where my audience was. My audience is business owners and marketing teams. Definitely LinkedIn, no brainer. And then Instagram, just because it's one of the most popular social media platforms there are right now. I wasn't going to play around with TikTok. I didn't want to get involved in Snapchat. My audience definitely isn't on Snapchat. I mean, there's so many other reasons, but for somebody that's just starting out, spend the first 90 days, even just pick one platform and really get a handle on it. Build that system that makes it a habit to post. Figure out what is working, what people are engaging in, and then maybe consider adding another platform to the roster. I've always had this idea that I'm going to start YouTube. Haven't yet, not a year into my business just yet. So it's still definitely on the table, but I'm just not ready yet. So I'm not going to force it.
Good. I like that. Don't force it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just started my YouTube journey.
Congrats.
And hence the podcast on YouTube, because long form, it builds authority, trust, but it's more work.
A lot more work, but a lot more staying power with YouTube too, which is, so it does have its benefits. Like you're putting in more work for more gain, ideally. Whereas, Instagram is more of like a 48 hour play. LinkedIn, you got a couple of weeks, but YouTube content, you could have a video that takes off in 2 years.
Exactly. So you have a signature series.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to share that?
Yeah, for sure. So I have a workshop called How to Create 30 Days of Content in One Day. It maybe sounds unbelievable, but it's possible. And I do it every single month for my clients. And now I'm teaching the system. So basically what it is about 8 hours of a framework to create 30 days of content, posting every single day on one particular platform. Usually Instagram is what we're talking about. And that system to create a habit and make social media feel less overwhelming and like you're not selling your soul to Meta every day. Yeah.
So let's get into it a little bit. But before we do, what's the difference between marketing and branding?
Oh, great question. So they definitely work together, but marketing is like the tools that help sell your business, the platforms where you're telling your story, whereas your brand, it is your story, it is your values, and it is the visual identity of your brand too. The logo, the fonts, the colors. But ultimately branding for me is the stories that you're telling and the experience and the memory that people get from hearing your story, and the marketing is how you push it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's give some game.
Okay.
All right. You take it away.
You want me to take it? Just start.
What's step one?
Step one to building the habit.
To building a habit. Yeah.
The strategy behind it, the story building. So what is it that you want to talk about? Who are you talking about?
That's it. Who are you serving, kind of thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You really, when it comes to social media, you almost want to imagine like you're sitting down with someone and having a conversation, speaking to them in a way that they understand, in a way that's relevant to them. that's interesting to them and makes them feel something. So I encourage business owners to really sit down and figure out who your audience is. So again, speaking to Purple Canvas, mine is business owners and marketing teams. So when I do a brainstorm, I'm thinking about that person specifically. What are their pain points? What are their behaviors? What content are they already engaging with that I can lift and adapt for my brand? And then I go from there.
Okay. So yeah, that's key. And it's the same when I'm working with business owners. We scale it right back. You know, a lot of times they want to, help me to get to the next level. Okay, let's work with where you are now. Who do you serve? Right? We need to know who before we get to the how.
Yes.
Right.
I think there's two schools of thought around that too, right? Some people, they might be a little bit more established, but they're just really starting to get into marketing and growing their business, and they think they know who their audience is.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it's a target audience. It's somebody they want to be their audience. And that's very different than who your audience currently is. And there is a way to speak to both, right? Like you can speak to the ideal prospect, the future client, but you need to make sure you're not forgetting about the current client.
The current client.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's step one.
Yeah.
What's step two?
Step two is starting to formulate that habit. So doing the research around that audience, like I said, those pain points, the behaviors, what platforms are they on, and then narrowing it down to, where am I going to post? How often am I going to post? You might want to create different content pillars around your strategy.
So for the sake of someone who maybe say new or been around, they don't understand what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
What's a content pillar?
Simply it's an idea or a theme. So for example, a content pillar might be for Purple Canvas, a workshop. So every single week, I'm going to talk about my workshop, encourage people to reach out to me and find out more information and, book a workshop.
Yeah.
Another idea could be, if you're a painting business is before and afters. Really simple. You don't need to overthink it. That is a content pillar. And there's probably so much content within a painter's roster of before and after.
Yeah.
So incorporating that weekly into their content. I could probably come up with other ideas. A podcast could be a content pillar for you, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned something there. So, because I see this often where some people are always like pitching a lot on, all your posts should not be pitching.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I follow the 80-20 rule for sure. 20% of the time, sure, pitch. Try to encourage people to DM or click on your website link or grab that lead link, that lead magnet that you've created. But 80% of it should really be about three things. Ideally, you're hitting all three with one post, but at minimum one: education, entertain, and inform.
Okay.
You should be hitting those three things. And sales isn't a part of that in that 80% of your content.
Let's break that down a little bit. Let's unpack it a little bit. So education, entertain, and
inform.
Okay. So what does education content look like?
Different for everybody, for sure. But educational content could literally be about where your business is. You want to educate people about how to get there, where to park, what the phone number is, who works there, even a little bit about the business owner you could consider as part of education. As a marketer, I like to educate people around social media, how to create content, how to do it efficiently, how to manage ads. So I'll go on my Instagram and I'll post different things surrounding those topics and make sure people feel that they're actually getting something value and learning some value and getting something new. Like that story I did the other day, right? You're at an event. A great idea is to post about yourself after the event, especially if you've made a bunch of new connections or a bunch of new followers so that you stay top of mind. So that's an example of an educational post.
Okay. And so for like me as a business coach, because my thing is I help clients to attract customers, right? Consistently in their business. So I do share education for me would be like little tips, little things about networking, right? Strategies, networking
like
strategies.
Teasers about what it's like working
things.
with you, right?
Yeah, like that. Okay. And so educate. And the next one?
Entertain. This is what social media is about. I think a lot of people forget sometimes that people go to social media to be entertained.
Yeah.
especially if you want to dabble on TikTok.
I gotta be honest with you, I struggle with that one a little bit.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
because it's
hard.
like, I don't know.
It can be
Am I
hard.
looking silly?
You have to step out of
Yeah.
your ego for sure.
Of my ego.
Oh
That's what it
yeah,
is.
because that, I mean, you're afraid of being silly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
you
what it
need to be
is.
a little bit silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It definitely being entertaining is definitely challenging, but it's like a muscle. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you tell your family, okay, guys, I'm going to be posting some cringe content,
Yeah.
but it's not for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you. So I do tell my friends and family that
Yeah.
often. But do the dance.
Yeah.
Do the trending thing. Not all of the time, but find ways to entertain your audience because that's why they're there ultimately.
So for me, tell me if this is entertaining.
Okay.
All right. I'm getting some coaching from you right now.
Yeah.
Don't invoice me.
I was going to say, I'll send you an invoice later.
All right. So one of the things that I've recently started doing was, so I've got my podcast. It's in the studio, but there are times now that I want to do interviews with people. Like, say I'm at a networking event, right? And just, say it's me and you.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? What's your business? Da 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 da. Just ask you a couple of questions. Is that considered entertaining or is that educating?
I would say it's a bit of both, right?
Okay.
Like there is definitely content where you're going to hit all three or two of the three. I think interviews are definitely entertaining. People love to hear people's stories.
Yeah.
When I say entertaining, it doesn't always need to be the TikTok dance.
Yeah.
I should be clear. It's just about something that's going to be interesting for your viewers where you're not asking anything of them other than enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You made me feel my ego feel better.
Good.
Because that is entertaining. Like you're saying, right? Yeah. Okay, it's entertaining for me, but it's not about me. Can we speak to that? A lot of times we're doing content for us when it's in fact supposed to be for your, going back to what you said
That's
earlier.
a hard one to get out of your head.
Yeah.
With too is trying to make sure, like, why am I doing this? Am I posting this for me because I feel really good about what happened, or is there a learning moment, an information piece that I'm giving to my audience?
Yeah.
And if you answer the first question is it's for me, then it probably isn't the right thing to post.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is, right? Like there is definitely opportunity to brag about yourself, to get some validation in what you're doing, or celebrate a really good moment like winning a new client or an award. Like that type of content does do well, but just keep in mind why you're doing it, who it's for. Yeah.
So one thing that's worked for me, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, and I'm one of those people, looking into the camera and talking to the camera. Like, you do it really well.
Oh, thank you.
People say I do, but I don't. I don't feel that I do. But you're probably gonna say again, it's your ego, Mark. We'll talk after this, right? But yeah, I just find it's not comfortable for me. However, what I've learned to do was I've recorded even my coaching calls. I got my camera to the side, my phone right to the side on my tripod. I'm recording. If there's Zoom calls, they're being recorded, but I've got my phone for behind the scenes content. I just find it's a lot easier that way. And I will say, if I say something, I'm recording it, and I have a software plug for Riverside. If you want to get Riverside, I have a link. I'll drop it in this in the description. And then it chops up in clips and stuff like that for me. So it makes it a lot easier in that sense. So is that one way that you would say it, that like to make content easier, less overwhelming, is to just, that's an easy way, just to drop your camera next to you, just be the content, I guess.
Yeah, no, 100%. That is a great way to create content, is just film yourself doing what you're normally doing, going about your day, taking little snippets of moments with interactions with other people, or, a lot of women, like they get ready with me, putting on their makeup or picking out their outfits for the day, packing your bag. All that stuff is really interesting because we're all human beings. We all have like regular parts of our day. We all have to eat. We all have to sleep.
Yeah.
We have alarms that we set to get things done. So I think filming those regular moments and then just putting a spin on it in terms of which can come down to the copy that you're putting on top of that content or the caption. Yeah. And then, I mean, I do think that, just like I said before, it is muscle. The more you practice looking at the camera, the more you practice script style video content, the easier that it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I like what you just said. It's that caption. It's that story that you're telling in that. So you just reminded me of a time my wife and I, we went to see one of our clients had a brand deal with a particular brand. So we went to support, and then we decided, hey, let's celebrate us, just me and her, my wife and I, afterwards for, so we went to a restaurant, and I just threw the camera up, and we toasted each other. And that one did very well. Yeah. And I think I can't remember exactly what I said in the caption, but it was related to business, like celebrating, I don't know, I think it was about that client or whatever it was. And it did very well. I actually at first felt a little silly because it's like I'm recording, people are around, toast. But it did very well.
Yeah. It's really important to get out of your head and not worry about what other people think, because you know what? They are probably judging you. And you just got to be okay with it. Yeah. You're not doing it for them. It's the same thing about friends and family thinking that your content is cringy or whatever it might be. They're not your customer. They're not the client that you're after. So try and forget about that. Get out of your head and just do the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people do business with who they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
And so if you're not doing anything that's relatable to your customer, your ideal customer, your target market, especially, how are they going to you and
The other thing I wanted to say about that too is how you took a personal moment where you're, at a restaurant with your wife enjoying dinner, and you turn that into business content. I think sometimes people get in their head about that moment, that asset, the photo, the video, and it's like, well, it's not about my business. Just there's ways to use it, and that's definitely something I talk a lot about in my workshop, 30 days of content in one day, is using your existing resources and turning it into content, no matter what it is. Maybe you're filming yourself tying up your shoe, but the point is people are seeing you being a human being running a business and hearing your message.
Yeah, I like that. So educate, entertain, and
inform. So that's, really about informing people of your offers, informing people of your website, informing people of, an event that's coming up. Really, it's about delivering information that matters to your audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What other tips can we give people to
There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, leverage tools for sure.
That's a good one.
There is no way that I'd be able to create 30 days of content in one day without AI. So this wasn't something I was doing 3 or 4 years ago. This is a new system that I've been able to create thanks to AI. So I leverage those AI tools. I use existing content whenever I can. And there's another challenging one for people. Repeat. Reuse and repeat. Make your content sustainable. Right?
Okay. What does that mean?
So that video that you posted last month that got 1,000 views and really good engagement. And when I say really good engagement, that can be anywhere from 3 to 10% of your audience liking, clicking, commenting, sharing, whatever that metric is. Use it again. And you don't even have to change it.
Literally repost.
Just post it again.
Same.
Yeah, man.
Thing. Like reshare. Click the reshare. Or
not even reshare. Just like what if you have that video saved somewhere in your assets, post it again.
Literally post it again.
You could tweak it if you want to. You could put new audio over top, but just to post it again.
Yeah.
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 And why? And then again.
And then again. Yeah.
Because your followers. We know that only 10 and 20% of them are actually seeing your content. Yeah. So if it already did well once, it's most likely going to do well again. And it's going to hit different eyeballs every single time you post it.
Yeah. You just reminded me of something. I recently learned that if you took down a post that was not doing well, like you just deleted it.
Yeah.
Does that impact your algorithms?
No.
No?
So that stuff,
That's
like
a
a lot
false.
of that stuff is myths.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like editing a post. People think that if you go in and edit your caption or change the cover that it's messing with the algorithm, but it's really not.
Okay.
The best thing that you can do to make sure your post is successful is send it to a few people. So I actually have a roster of people. Like I think there's about 30 of them. They don't know that they're on this roster. But I send it to them every time I have something really important that I really want to make sure I get good engagement on. I will send that post to 10 of those people. So it's not the same 30 people getting that request from me every month, but I will send a post to my supporters and say, hey, can you like this? Can you comment on this? So that's a really good way to get engagement really quickly.
I'm on that list. I got one of those
You
messages.
might be.
I know her secrets now.
But it works, right? Don't be
Does
afraid
it?
to ask
Okay.
for support. The
Yeah.
best thing that's going to get your post to reach more people is immediate engagement. And when I say immediate, it's like within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then making sure that you're also commenting on those comments when you get posts.
When you get comments.
Yes.
Coming to
Commenting quickly.
And that's the other thing too. So should you even comment? I've heard that you should comment, even be like the first comment on your post. Is that a good thing, or is that?
It can be.
Yeah.
That one I'm not 100% sure about. I don't know that commenting on your own post will help the algorithm that much, but it might encourage somebody to be like, oh, someone commented, and they'll click in and see, which is good for your post. So it does seem like it would work, but I don't have proof that it would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're saying to make social media less overwhelming, think of these three things, pillars, you call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Entertain, educate, and inform.
Yes.
Right. And then we're also saying utilize AI.
Yeah.
Can you give like some AI? So I guess Riverside will be considered an AI tool, right?
Yeah.
What are some other good AI tools that anyone listening can?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked about Opus Clip, which is kind of a competitor to Riverside. So no offense, Riverside, but that's the one that I use for long form video.
Yeah.
It works the same way. You know, you podcast like this, we take the 20-minute video, we dump it into Opus Clip, and it chops it up into bite-sized pieces that you can still edit. So you still have control. Yeah. You can still tweak it. I like to use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or any of those that are becoming relevant and prominent as a research tool. And I will ask AI to write captions for me, 100%. I try to feed it as much information about the idea as I can, and then I get the caption, and then I humanize it. So I make sure that it's using words that I actually use in my everyday life. Any of the weird things that AI might add or the repetitive nature of it, like there has to be that human interference, but definitely leverage it to help you do things a little bit faster. It can help you figure out what days that month are going to be really important, you know, like National Sunglasses Day or whatever it might be. We have International Women's Day coming up. Making sure that you're paying attention to those important days without having to go all over the internet to find out what's important. You can use AI to find out what's important for your brand. What important days do I need to consider and create content around, and then ask it to help you.
Okay. And then I think even like CapCut, we've talked about using CapCut for editing for those of you that edit your.
Yes. CapCut is a great one for templates. Also the Instagram Edits app is really great. And
I've been using that recently.
They recently added templates, which is great. So definitely use that. Canva has a lot of great tools.
Yes, I love Canva. Yeah.
And it has AI built into it as well.
Yeah. So utilize utilize the AI that's out there, the tools that's what they are. They're tools. Leverage. That was the word you used, right?
Yes.
Leverage these tools, right? So that it's not so overwhelming for you. One last thing quickly, because you were talking about different days of the week. One should batch create or schedule their content. Do it on certain days of the week. Do you recommend that?
Yes, definitely. I think that's what makes social media feel less overwhelming, knowing that it's already done. So in my workshop, I encourage people to create 30 days of content in a single day. And now, you know, that single day can be broken up over 3 days. Ultimately, it's about 8 hours. So 2 hours for research, 2 hours for planning and getting yourself set up, and then 4 hours creating. So that's writing the captions, editing the videos, creating the carousels and things like that. And it's doable. It's very doable. And I'm not talking about posting twice a day, every single day. I'm more like, 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week. And then you're cross posting the same content on various channels. So that's how it becomes efficient.
And also scheduling.
Yes, and then I schedule
tools,
it. Yep.
Right? That's another leveraging, right?
Yeah, so you can use Meta Schedule right inside Meta Business Suite. It's free and it's available. It has glitches, but so does everything else. I use a scheduling tool called Metricool. It's very cost effective, and you can have multiple brands and multiple platforms in there, and it has all the reporting in there for you too. So that's the other benefit of doing 30 days in advance. Is now you can go back and look at the last 30 days and see how that content did to help you plan your next 30 days.
Nice.
Yeah. Rather than doing it sporadically and not really having a plan. So you're basically creating a system for yourself to monitor your social media and continuously optimize and make it better and more engaging.
Yeah. Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, of course, if that wasn't obvious. Instagram and LinkedIn at Purple Canvas Marketing, and also purplecanvas.ca.
All right, awesome. Do you got anything special coming up that would tell people about?
Yeah, I do. I have
you mentioned the workshop, but
I have a talk I'm doing at the end of the month, March 31st, with a group called Atlas Connective. Doing that with another friend, Jordan, who's going to be talking all about brand and story, which is a perfect segue.
Had him on the podcast. Yep.
And then I'll be talking about social media, specifically my magic formula, which is about taking one idea and turning it into 3 pieces of content.
Nice. And then you and I are doing some stuff together too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Still date to be D, but big plans, and we hope you can make it.
That's it. And stay tuned for that. You want to grow your business, attract your customers. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. As long as you put systems into place, do the right things, strategize, entertain, inform, and educate.
Yes.
You got it. See? And also put aside your ego.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take that as the business coach. I'm going to use that as a challenge. You can hold me accountable.
Okay.
I'll do a little bit of entertainment.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. There you have it. That's your business. Go do your business and get your marketing done.